So let's talk about how I ended up flying a 777 dressed like this. Hello, my name is Darren. I'm a dad. I'm an airline pilot, and I'm a husband of a scientist. And this happened back on Friday, May 2nd. Now, I was sitting at home enjoying a great game of Ghost Wildlands. I am not very good. I will not play you online. I play offline only. I was playing Ghost Wildlands when I got a notification on my phone from my union. I had set up for anytime a trip opens up in my base or comes through my base, I get a notification on my phone, see if I'm going to go to work that day, if I want to trade my trip, whatever. Now, this particular trip had first come in open time the night before, around 8:10 at night. And it got quickly picked up by a pilot senior to me for straight time. I'm like, hey, he's senior to me, all for him, whatever. At the time, it had like a 7 a.m. sign-in time. I'm like, that's early for me. I got to get ready for school. No, thank you. Well, then around 9:50 at night, before I went to bed, he came back into open time. I'm like, that's weird. But again, it's a late departure. I mean, it's an early departure. I don't want to do it. And it quickly went to the 3 a.m. reserve guy, who happens to be senior to me. Doesn't really matter. But he is senior to me and said, hey, you got the 3 a.m. wrap? You picked that 3? Because he picked that 3 a.m. wrap, I'm pretty sure. Because it's a very low chance of being used. I'm like, hey, you got 3 a.m. wrap, man. It's all you. You got 1 day availability. Go for it. Cool. Then, about 3:30 in the morning, I got to use the restroom, came back, and I saw the silent notification on my phone. I went, that's that same trip. Same 7 a.m. sign-in time, but now it's being assigned to a reserve junior to me, and they got it for what's like overtime. So overtime on my airline, if it's keeping it stupid simple, if you're on short call reserve and pick up this trip on a day off, this goes on top of your reserve pay. So instead of getting paid 76 hours, you work on a day off, and you get paid an extra 5 hours, 15 minutes. For easy work, right? Again, I'll tell you this trip is in a second. And so fine, whatever. Then, again, I'm playing Wildlands. And now it's about 7, no, it's later than that, but 8:20 in the morning. And I get this notification for this trip. And I'm like, hey, this has a sign-in time a little more than an hour from now. And the trip was stupid easy. It was a Deadhead to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and ferry a plane back. That's it. A Deadhead to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and ferry a plane back. Now, I was supposed to leave at 7:30 that morning, I believe. Get to Tulsa, leave right away, get back here by noon. But now it's like 8:20 in the morning. I'm playing Wildlands. I'm like, I hadn't shaved. I'm like, oh, my wife's walking her dog. Hey, I have nothing better to do on this Friday afternoon. It's storming outside, but I'm like, I can do this. So I put in a bid electronically to my airline, letting them know I want this trip, and I'll do it for time and a half. I can be there in 40 minutes. While it's processed, because it can process at any time, I go start shaving my face, and I notice in 10 minutes the trip is still there. Like, it should be gone by now. So I call my airline, scheduling department. Say, Special Officer Bird, I want that trip. I put a bid in for it. It's still sitting there. I did put it for premium. Well, we ran it for premium, meaning time and a half. Your name didn't come up. Oh, but you know what? You didn't put in that we could change the trip, because when they had changed the time to a 9:40 sign-in time, they didn't change the departure out of Tulsa, which would have left before the flight arrived. So I had bid for it when it was still like a negative 10-minute connection, meaning you got there at like 11:30 and left at 11:20. You can't do that. They had fixed it. So I'm like, oh, hold on. I checked the box. They had to rerun it again in case some other pilot at my airline saw it and also wanted it. And then while I'm on hold, so came back. Darren, First Officer Bird, you got the trip. It's all yours. I'm like, hey, while I have you on the phone, again, I'm still shaving. Can I get upfront parking? Meaning, will the airline pay for my parking at the terminal to get this flight out on time? Because now it's like 8:50 in the morning, right? I have less than an hour to get there, which I can do. It'd be tight. I said, yeah, tell you what, I'll ask, and if they approve it, I'll call you back. I went, cool. So then I had to get dressed. And my uniform was not cleaned, ready to go. because it's my day off. But I had this ready to go, right? So I put on this shirt, put on these jeans, and my brown cowboy boots, not my black ones, because it's my day off, right? And headed to the airport. And I decided to grab just my kit bag and not my suitcase. It's storming outside, and yes, I could get caught in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and have to carry my bag through the airport, but I didn't want to deal with TSA and all my liquids that are in my bag. It just wasn't worth the hassle. So I went up to the airport. I parked in Terminal B because I was going on a regional carrier up to Tulsa. Went in the KCM and then the KCM was down, so I had to go through normal security, which I'm glad I didn't have my bag. I had just my basics in my bag. Had some snacks, but no liquids. I had an empty water bottle. Went through security, fine. Went to the gate, and on my way to the gate, I signed in for my trip, and the captain texted me. Said, "Hey, this is the captain. I'm in normal clothes. Just to let you know, I'll meet you at the gate." And his name looked familiar, and he had previously texted me in the past. I'm like, I have flown with this guy before, apparently. And so I opened my Union app, and I looked at the history, and we flew together back in February to Incheon, South Korea. Not that really matters. But anyway, I went down to the gate, and I'm waiting for my seat because I'm a very last-minute addition. The flight was booked full, but there's storms in the area, so I had a pretty good chance of getting a seat. And indeed, I did get a seat. In the aisle, 175, brand new airplane, by the way. Like, it smelled new, and I looked it up. It was a brand new airplane. Walked on board, got in my seat, thinking, okay, maybe we'll leave on time. Well, the captain came on saying we're leaving a few minutes late because of storms. We need some more extra fuel. I went, that makes sense. We left 3 minutes late. Not that big of a deal, right? So now we're headed from Terminal B to 35 left, and we're taxiing, and now we're waiting. And I opened up Flight Radar 24, and there's a ton of airplanes waiting down in the 35 left pad. A ton of airplanes. I'm like, this ain't good. And sure enough, the captain came on saying it's a ground stop because of all the weather, right? There's a ton of storms north of the airport, just surrounding all north of all the airport, right? So all the departures out that gate are just waiting. Thankfully, my bag always has snacks in it. I had my Jelly Belly jelly beans and my iPad mini with YouTube on it. So I watched some YouTube, ate some Jelly Belly beans, and waited for takeoff. Eventually, we got our turn about after an hour to head up to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, again, I'm paid 5 hours and 15 minutes per day minimum at time and a half to do this trip. And minimum means if the flight is 1 hour there and I fly 1 hour back, I get paid 5 hours and 15 minutes. But if the flight goes over, I get the extra. Well, this flight was blocked for like 1 hour and 10 minutes. An hour on the ground. So I'm already making money, right? Extra money. We head to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we got some good shortcuts, right? But now we are too heavy to land. So captain made a PA, which is the right thing to do, of course, saying, hey, we're going to put the gear down early, just so you know, and we're going to be holding for a little bit to burn off some fuel. So we made the PA, put the gear down, and we were holding for just a few minutes. Putting the gear down makes extra drag, so they can raise the power up to burn more fuel, especially being down low. Burned off all that fuel we needed, came in, and the first officer made a spectacular landing in Tulsa. It was a beautiful day. He made a spectacular landing on 36 right into Tulsa. Got to the gate and deplaned, and I met Andrew, the first officer, who happens to be a supporter of my content. Thank you, Andrew. Great meeting you there. And I made the mistake of going up to the terminal because in the past I've done the same kind of trip, and then I meet someone at the terminal, at the end of the terminal, to go downstairs to go over to the hangar. Well, my phone rang. It's the captain saying, what are you doing? I'm like, waiting for the ride. He's like, it's down here by the airplane. I went, oh. So I had to go back to the gate and show the agent my ID saying, hey, I'm a pilot dressed like this. I need to go down there. And I kind of waved to my captain, and they waved back. She went, all right, let me go down the jet bridge. Hopped in the back of a Ford truck and got driven around from the terminal all the way around to the maintenance hangar. Now, we're picking up a 777-300 that day. I was up there for some kind of modification to the struts or the landing gear assemblies and to get ready for summer flying. So they went through the entire airplane, made sure the cabin was freshed up. Everything was ready to go for a full summer travel season. Once we got to the airplane, I'm like, you know what? I'm the FO. I'm going to go ahead and do the walk around while I'm down here. So I went ahead and did the full walk around downstairs. Long airplane because I don't fly a 300 that often. long plane to walk around. Giant engines. And went upstairs, and then the captain did the cabin pre-flight because they have to lock down all this stuff in the cabin, make sure everything's not going to be flying around with all the emergency equipment. And then I did the flight deck pre-flight, thinking the storms are pretty gone in Dallas. We should be able to get out here pretty quickly. No. So we had an edict. Call for clearance, we had an edict, meaning we were given at least, I think it was like an hour to wait. I'm like, an hour is not too bad. So again, I went to my bag, and I have snacks. I had an orange. So I grabbed my orange, and like a savage, a Boeing Savage pilot, I ate it on my lap because I had no tray table like on the Airbus. Fast arrived. I had my water bottle full from the airport. And the hour went by, and then we got another 90-minute delay. And I'm like, oh crap. All I have left are jelly beans and one protein bar. And the mechanics are awesome. They're like, hey, we have a full like convenience store, automated convenience store up in there in our hangar. You want to go get food? I'm like, it's only 90 more minutes. Yeah, maybe I should go. And the captain said, I'm going. So I fine, I'll go with you. So we went over to the hangar, and the captain was smarter than me. He got a big sandwich, chips, and a nice healthy like iced tea. Me being stupid, got a Snickers bar and a Coke Zero. So full of sugar and no sugar. Because I thought it'd be 90 minutes. Back to the airplane, I devoured my Snickers bar, my Coke Zero, and then now it's like 2:30, 2:40 in the afternoon, and I called clearance and like, hey, the ground stop has been lifted. Now it's call for release. And normally, call for release just means you fire up the engines, go to the runway, and when you're ready to go, they call clearance, they call ATC, and they say, here's your spot. You can launch in 5 minutes, and you go. Now it's like 2:45. And the ground crew's like, hey, we're leaving here, but we'll tell the next crew at 3 to help you guys get out. We're like, no. Our checklists are done. The plane is ready. We just have to fire up the engines. So they pulled the stairs. We armed one door. We armed one door for escape. We fired up the engines. And at 2:55, we taxied toward the taxiway. We had 135,000 pounds of fuel on board. Plenty of gas on board. Call ground. Say, oh, yeah. It's called for release, and right now they just let me know it's about 90 minutes. You said call for release. You didn't say 90 minutes. But we've already started the engines. So we made our way down the taxiway. We're going on the west side of the airport, away from the airline operations. We're not in anybody's way, being a big old airplane we are. Went down there thinking, this sucks. Kind of just taxiing along slowly. And I give the captain the briefing as far as the weight, winds, and temps go, as far as the performance numbers. We're plenty good to go. Many people think that when we're empty, we're going to launch out of there like a bat out of heck. Not true. For every single takeoff, we almost always use a reduced power takeoff. And on a Boeing 777, we can use full power, 10% less, 20% less, and we can also even do 20% less with an assumed temperature. So remember how like when you're a kid, or even now, if you're a runner or you do sports outside, when it's cooler, you perform better. When it's hotter, you perform worse. Same for aircraft engines. So we tell the plane, pretend it is hot outside, and it makes less power. Now these numbers come from my dispatcher. We don't make them up on our own. They come from our dispatcher. So on this particular day, we did a TO2 takeoff, so that reduces the max thrust by 20%. Then we said, pretend it is 56 degrees Celsius outside. Super hot. So even further reduced, because we don't need all that power. We save engine wear, save fuel, save noise. It's just all around better. So we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting. And then I hear another flight from my regional carrier get permission to leave in like 10 minutes. Like, hey, what about our flight? Nothing for you guys. All right. And then they call back about 5 minutes. Hey, they call back and say, you guys can go after the regional flight. Great. So the captain I'm flying with, again, I flew with him back to Korea back in February. He didn't fly at 300 that often, and he's retiring soon. Okay, Darren, do you mind if I fly this leg? I'm like, hey, man, it's all you. So line up on 36 right, launched off, and climbed to 15,000 feet, because Tulsa, Oklahoma ain't that busy, so they have a huge airspace, vertical airspace. And we headed toward Wichita, Kansas, because of course we did, because it's the weather and all these aircraft that are delayed. Up to flight level, I think 390. Couldn't go to 410 because it wasn't quite right for temperature and performance. But we're high, right? And we're headed toward Dallas. And initially, they had us going toward a hard stand in Dallas, not a gate. And we're like, oh man, going toward a hard stand is never ideal because we had to get a park there, wait for the ground crew, and then shut everything down. There's no ground power units, so we have to make it a cold, dark airplane, and wait for the ground crew to get a bus for us to go from the hard stand to the terminal. And our time stops when we turn the airplane off. It could be another half an hour to get to the terminal. Not ideal. But like, hey, it is what it is. It's already been a long day. And the captain has been there at the airport since like 6:30 that morning. It's 3:30 in the afternoon now. So we land in Dallas in 35 Center, and by that point they gave us a gate, D27 I think it was, but it said the gate won't be available till 5:15. We landed around 4:20, 4:30. Okay. So we went and we were holding in the 17 right pad, and I called ramp and I said, hey, what's going on with the gate? Nothing until 5:15. Oh no, first said, okay, we have spot 124. I'm like, are you sure for this flight number? Oh no, nothing for you till 5:15. But you put in the computer spot 124. I told ground, because ground only cares about our spots. They don't care about our gate numbers. DFW airport does not care about what gate you're going to. They want to know what spot you're going to. There's spots all around the airport. So I said, we have no gate available. Well, I'm showing spot 124. I said, no, that's a mistake. Are you sure? Because they have spot 124. I said, hold on, I'll call back. Call back. Yeah, no spot. No spot. So we waited and waited. And we're getting paid the whole time. Then eventually they're like, hey, I need you guys to go to the west side of the airport where your gate is. So, so we went from 17 right over to 18 left, holding pad, and we're waiting. And 5:15 goes around and nothing, and we're waiting. And finally, past 6 o'clock, the gate became available, and we taxied into the gate, and we were done. Long day. Supposed to be a 5-hour and 15-minute day, ended up being 7 hours and 21 minutes a block total between the Deadhead and my flight from Tulsa to Dallas. Very long day indeed. And again, that's all paid at time and a half, so I ended up paying that much money total. So it all came about because I happened to be at home. I live close to the airport and had notifications turned on that I got to go fly an airplane in my civvies and make a few extra dollars. Short story about my random adventures as an airline pilot based in Dallas. If you don't mind, like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day, and as always, thank you for stopping by.